Tell you ain't never had someone this long. One night, have them humming my song like.
All right, listen. I don't know how much I could stress this out, even emphasize this, but life's gonna challenge you. I know I repeat this a lot, but I feel it's very important to let people know this, and it's important for you to hear this. And life's gonna challenge you. It's gonna throw obstacles at you. It's gonna throw roadblocks at you. It's gonna knock you down. You're gonna get up, and it's gonna knock you down again. It'll do this continuously. It's gonna do it to some of you a lot more than it's gonna do it to others. For what reason? For what purpose? I'm not sure. I'm sure there's a greater purpose for it. I'm sure there's greater reasons for it. But it's gonna happen, and when it does happen, or if it is happening, I want everybody to understand something. No matter what life throws at you or what happens, there's positivity in there. There's ways you can do to manipulate the situation to make things better, or you can even use the situation to make things better, or the situation is going to make things better. You got to take your time, pause, take a deep breath, and figure out, how do I make the best out of this? I know it sounds crazy, because you're like, when bad things happen, you're like, you think it's the end of the world. But that's not the reality. That's not the truth. There's something greater out there. There's some greater purpose. And when things go bad, you take your time and you figure out how you're going to make it better. And there's lots of ways to take something negative and actually realize what it's there for, or what you can do with it. For me, for example, over the last year or two or whatever, I've met a lot of these people in the medical field who study medical and medicine, doctors. And they've given me nothing but bad news. And it feels like the news, they get worse all the time. But from the beginning, before all this, I had told myself, I made a promise to myself. I said, listen, I'm going to take life, and whatever comes my way, I'm going to make the best out of it. I'm going to make the best out of every situation that comes at me, no matter what or how bad it sounds or what happens. I'm going to push through it. I think it was going to escalate. Things were going to get, like they got in. But it's not even that. I'll get into detail with that. But anyways, I said, that's what I said. I made myself a promise. I said, that's what I'm going to do. So from the beginning, when I found out I was sick, I had some health issues. I said, all right. So I knew that in my business of construction, the bigger the job you got, the bigger work you do, the more money you make. The more work you make, the bigger the job, the busier you are. So I said, okay, I got to minimize that. I got to do smaller jobs, repair, service, little maintenance things, smaller things. And when you do smaller jobs and smaller things, you're less busy. But when you're less busy and you're smart, you take that time, that extra time, and you do something with it. You don't waste it. I said, I'm going to take this time that I'm slowed down. I'm going to do some reading. I'm going to research. I'm going to learn. I'm going to pay attention to the world in such a way that I would have never paid attention before if I was busy on somebody's roof or attic or basement working. Now I'm looking at the world differently. So I started reading more. Started studying. You start learning things that you probably weren't going to learn before. I started learning the stock market. Something simple as the stock market. You learn it, how it works. You learn, I started buying little penny stocks, making little profits here and there. You start figuring out how the market works, what trends happen, what things change. And you start making, you start learning these things, and you're like, oh wow, look, I would have never learned this. You start doing things you weren't gonna do before. You learn to make the best out of it. You learn to extract positivity out of everything. Your money, the way you waste your money. I said, okay, since I got this now going on, I got to learn to save money. I got to learn to well manage my money. So I started managing my money in a way that I was like, wow, I didn't know my money could do that. I didn't know I could save that much money. I didn't know my money could work for me instead of me working for my money. You start figuring out these things, and you're like, wow, like you start learning so much more. You start figuring out ways to make bad situations better. Look at me. I got time. I'm on the social media. I'm gonna put this video on Facebook. I would have never been on the social media talking to anybody or expressing myself, even though I've always had a lot bottled up inside of me. I probably would have never shared it. I would probably would never spoken to anybody. But now look at me. I'm making a video and I'll post it up later, and I like to explain and detail these things in a way that we never ever see, because we're busy with our lives, and it's not until you probably go through something or understand something that now you can share this with other people. The last challenge that the reason I made the video was because I wanted to talk about one of the last challenges I had, which is the something recently going on, which is the doctors, and they telling me like, oh, if I wanted to freeze the stuff that makes me have kids, what's that? And I was like, my God, I'm like, it's like they always telling me something, like, I guess because of all the treatments they've been hitting me with, that they affect that in whatever way it does. So you're like, damn, they want me to freeze this? Like, what? You can't have kids? They're like, you can't fertilize, whatever the hell. Okay, so I stop again and I say, okay, let me find some positivity in this, because you think as a human, the purpose for you here, we feel that our purpose is to reproduce. We feel that it is to have an offspring and so on. So I tell the doctor, I said, you know what? I'm okay. I'm not gonna do it. I said, first of all, I don't want my kid to go through the challenges that I had to face with my health. I don't want my kid to have the same health issues I had and have the same issues that I have. And I would never want to see my son or daughter go through the stuff I went through. It's more painful to watch your kid go through those things than you yourself. I mean, I'm a little crazy. I enjoy pain a little bit. I've learned a lot from pain, and pain has taught me a lot. And I'm a little crazy. You can call me crazy. I don't give a shit. But I learned a lot from it. But anyways, I don't want to see my kid go through that. So that's the reason I said no. Another reason I said no is because the truth is, there's a lot of beautiful, hardworking, independent single mothers out there, single moms. And there's nothing stopping me from being with one of them. I would love to get with a girl with a kid already and that has a kid, and I'm gonna love the kid just as much as I'm gonna love her. It's crazy because you think like this it's your kid, but reality is, if I'm gonna be with a girl, I'm gonna love her, and the things that she loves, I'm gonna love. If she has dreams and she has goals, those are gonna become my dreams and my goals. And you start seeing, and you start thinking of all these, I start putting together all these things, and you're like, you just got to find a positive in everything. Plus, the truth is, okay, maybe I won't pass down my genetics, but that's not the end of the world. I mean, what's genetics? I mean, that's great. We all have genetics. What's important is the knowledge and the wisdom that you pass down. That's what I feel is more important for me to pass down. It doesn't have to be my genetics. There's nothing really important about my genetics. I mean, I'm thankful for it, but there's more important things to life than that. And what I want to pass down in my generation, in my life, to anybody, to especially kids that are going to be mine, whether they're genetically mine or not, is knowledge and wisdom. It's like there's a lot I would want to share with a kid or with kids, and that's what's important in life. And I just wanted to tell everybody that no matter what you're going through or gonna go through, find the positivity in it. There's positivity in everything. Learn to extract it. You never know why things happen. Sometimes all the time there's a greater purpose for it. You don't even know. Like, it's crazy because it almost feel like it can actually be a blessing, and you don't even know it. And you're like, oh, why me? Why this happens to me? But you don't know what God's doing to make your life different. You don't know the reason behind it. Take your time, relax. It might not happen overnight, but give it time. And that was just something I wanted to get off my chest today. And I'm gonna put it on Facebook and stuff. You don't gotta listen to it if you don't want to. But I felt it was important. All right. Bye.